Hello, mech fans. This is Duncan Fisher. Hold on firmly to your mana potions, fireballs, and familiars, because you are tuning in to your regularly scheduled episode of the First Circuit Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the First Circuit Podcast, episode 127,000. Today's guest, we have our Ian with an explosion behind you there.
Apparently, I'm a guest now.
Apparently, or hosts, whatever you want to call them. It's been too long. We have Santa Bob down in the corner there.
Ho, ho, ho.
And then we got a biter with us here today, too.
Blarg, I never
All right.
change.
Never change. All right. Of course, Lars, if I forgot if I said that or not. Anyway, so it has been a while since we've done a podcast. We kind of figured we would hop on just to kind of play catch up from the whole COVID 2020 mess that we're currently in. And for topics, we're not going to be going a whole lot into really anything. To be honest, we're going to be just kind of recapping and going into some Battletech tabletop stuff and just to kind of see what we've all been up to, and also to let all you out there let you know how we're all doing too. Since just so you know, we have not gone away. It's just been like a weird little hiatus.
Yes.
So yeah. So I guess Ian, what do you got going on behind
That
you
is
there?
cool, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So before we do anything else,
Yeah,
I
what we
just want
got?
to quickly give a shout out to
I think
Top
it was
Crew Media.
yeah.
TMC in short.
Mhm.
And they've been doing a lot of amazing Battletech animation work. If you've seen them on Twitter, their main artist is posting animation for mechs all the time. And what you can see in the background right now is a short movie called Hired Steel,
Huh.
which is the pilot episode to a animated series they are trying to do. And it looks so freaking good.
Now they're not going to get any copyright strikes or anything like that, are they?
I fairly certain this is gonna fall under fair
It
use.
won't be automated copyright strikes since
Yeah.
it's all their own original material.
Mhm.
As for who owns the copyright to the battle mech designs and whether they'll feel that they want to take it down if it ever gets enough traction is another story.
Yeah, because I know they had someone else try to do something very similar, but they got taken down.
I think they were.
Yeah,
It depends which franchise, really, because it just depends how much they really want to hold onto that franchise. I think Warhammer 40k has had a lot of people wanting to do machinimas, but Games Workshop are very litigious in regards to their copyright.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot more issues with Games Workshop. Whereas as far as with Battletech is concerned, I think they're just happy that somebody would that there's somebody making machinima for them at this point, and they're not really. I have as far as making games goes, I think there's an awkward history of the unseen mechs and stuff like that. Perhaps
Yeah.
there's that avenue, but as for Microsoft or whatever, I think they don't mind. This will just act as advertising.
Well, like I know
I
also.
think
Go ahead.
the only ones who would really do anything is Microsoft, who are the license holders. And I honestly think they have got, given their recent acquisition of Bethesda Studios, I think they've got their hands full with more
Yeah.
important stuff.
Yeah.
And plus, also too, like I think if you don't make waves, I think you're okay. I think what you're talking about, the one cartoon that they were going to do.
Yeah, the cartoon.
The cartoon they were going to do a long time ago that they were going to charge or something like that, or something happened. So like who knows? But this guy, CK, like I'll go post the Twitter and everything else down on the down in the notes down below. But amazing work. Took 4 months of work to do what he did, and it is freaking amazing. And I'll leave a link to the Hired Steel as well too.
Wow.
Yeah,
and that's
please check out the original video and check out his Twitter as well. He's doing amazing work, and we heavily encourage you to give him positive feedback.
And honestly, and you just said 4 months, and if that was what Ian showed, that's actually a really good turnout for 4 months.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, they had
especially
to make.
given how much prep he did just on the mech animations and all that
Yeah,
stuff. It's
That's impressive.
insane.
I mean,
And
plus-
I'm really looking forward to what else he's going to do.
Plus, also too, you
Well,
have to
they-
actually have what's inside the dropship. No one really knows what's inside the dropship except for what Mechwarrior 5 did. and all that, all the major animations that they did for the people, like inside Dropship and what they're doing and everything. So did a great job. I was totally amazed at it.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's
Also,
a
you
lot of
should check
unique
out-
assets because
Yeah.
it's also the inside the cockpit, the inside of the dropship. There's several vehicles. There's a whole open
The
world thing that they
terrain,
show.
everything,
Yeah,
like
the planet,
environment.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you should definitely check out his pictures where he's putting Shadowhawks on just regular parking lots. Like he's pasting his models onto pictures, and it's really cool.
Nice.
It's so convincing that it actually takes you a few seconds to realize that that's an actual parking lot picture in the background.
Yeah, I gotta see these on Twitter. I'll probably do it later on, but that's awesome.
Nice
Really
guy
is.
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So- On to less exciting stuff. Just to quickly mention, there were a lot of things going on with Mechwarrior Online, and by a lot I mean just the usual stuff that honestly no one cares at this point. So, given how long it's been, we're just going to skip the recent patches and events, and just the TLDR is nothing really important happened in neither
would say it's
Mechwarrior
more the
Online nor
same.
Mechwarrior 5.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
If you like phases, the most recent sale has 6 phases.
Yeah. Oh god.
6?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Seriously.
Get your calendars.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was. Oh god. But hey, there was a 13 kilobyte patch. So wait, that's important. 13 kilobytes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But
there-
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of, as we all know, it's kind of quieter on the Battletech franchise right now, since HBS is doing 2 new games that, as far as we know, have nothing to do with the franchise, and PGI is still working on the DLC for Mechwarrior 5, which may or may not come out in
Yeah, because
some weeks
this
or
year's
some months.
been
been pretty bad. Been pretty
everything's
bad.
been
content.
delayed because of the usual description due to COVID, whatever. Such and such is delayed for any marketing
no.
item
Oh
ever.
no, he said the C word. No,
The
no, this
C
video
word.
is going to get flagged on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
so-
right. Oh god.
It's
That's
so
right.
dumb.
Man.
You should
Okay.
go ahead and just beep it. Just
Yeah.
Due to beep, everything's been delayed.
So yeah, so and then also the Battletech Kickstarter is coming out next month, I believe, correct?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. All right, let me pull up the
We're
actual
gonna-
information so I don't BS you guys again.
Yes.
And
Yeah, go ahead and
Let's see.
bring up all them good goods.
All the hubs are expected to ship to backers in the early weeks of October. So that little sentence means a few things. First off, the Kickstarter is not shipping from the factory to all the backers because that would be a insane logistics overhead. They're distributing it via one of their partner companies to hubs on each continent. And from those hubs, it's going to be shipped out with relatively low shipping costs to the individual backers. So what they're doing right now is they're distributing the pack from Wave 1 to those hubs. And then in early October, those hubs are going to send them out to the actual backers. So hopefully, fingers crossed, if nothing gets delayed again, you might have your hands on the Wave 1 stuff as early as mid-October and as late as early November.
That'd be
So
good.
that's
Mhm.
really good news. It's been a few months delay, but I think it's given that it's Kickstarter, it's not too bad.
Well, it was supposed to
can
come
live
out
with
in
it.
March, though, right? Like it was supposed to
Yeah.
come out then. They got delayed to May. Then it got delayed again. It's like, oh, I just want to go play the game.
It's
Even
been
without
delayed.
worldwide issues, they delayed like their starter box by a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
It's not too bad though. At least the communication was pretty good this time around. They've kept us in the line. They showed us pictures every few weeks, so I think they've handled it fairly well. And I'm still very excited, and I'm not too upset.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess I'm gonna screen share for the next part.
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead and
Yeah, go ahead.
show us all the fun photos of what we have to expect here.
Those are all the cool stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all them good goods, you know.
If you got a bomber jacket, this would be perfect for you.
Oh yeah. I sadly didn't get the jacket from the Battletech Kickstarter.
I
Yeah,
wish
go
I
ahead
got that
and
too.
zoom in on that there.
Yeah.
Can I? Okay, I can't just click the pictures, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
There
zoom
you
in
go.
and hope that it's
Oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
acceptable.
that's fine.
Okay. So let me find this picture gives you a pretty good idea. What I've done in one of the recent updates is they just laid out everything that's part of Wave 1 onto a table. And oh my god, there's so much stuff there.
That is a lot of stuff.
And it's really cool to see all the stuff. So let's just kind of jump over it. Obviously, the battle mats are just high quality maps that you can wall up and take with you if you go to a convention to play. Really cool stuff. This is the in the middle. You can see the actual boxes for the Kickstarter. There are 2 box covers. The left one is the one you can find in retail later in 2020 or early 2021, whenever they get it out to the stores. And the white one is the one you're going to get from the Kickstarter.
Okay.
And then obviously you can see a bunch of mech lens packs or star packs in this case. And what I think is really cool are all these small little boxes you can
Yeah,
see
what are
here.
those?
These are salvage boxes.
Yeah.
So as you may remember, if you bought, well, in certain constellations, you could get salvage boxes. So for example, if you bought a 4 mech pack with a credit that could theoretically get you a 5 mech pack, you would get this mech pack plus a salvage box. And the salvage box contains 1 random mech from this Kickstarter. And yeah, there's a lot of random mechs in this Kickstarter. And I'm getting quite a few salvage boxes, so I'm excited to open all my loot boxes and see.
Do we want to know how much you spent on
They're
that?
all locusts.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've said it on a podcast before. I went all in and spent about $800. So
Jeez.
it's really scary for me to see this table because I'm getting not all, but most of the stuff on this table,
Mhm.
and it's only wave 1. And I really don't know if I have enough space in my
The
flat.
the funny thing is, whenever I see the loot boxes, I want to say another taboo word that Bob would hate, but it makes me think of something else.
See,
I
that I
love
don't
it.
mind though. That I don't mind because you could still buy the
I
mech
know.
packs. Basically. Plus, it doesn't have the
For
clicky.
a second, I was like, the word Bob hates UAVs. Should go
UAVs.
UAVs.
No, it's not UAVs.
Nope. Mm-mm.
It's a
Okay,
D.
so
It's a
yeah.
DA.
Also, they've shown like the mechs you can see. The smaller mechs here are the ones you should already know from the Game of Armored Combat box, which you could buy as part of the Kickstarter again.
Ooh.
There are some pilot cards and some mech cards, which, as far as I'm aware, you don't really need if you just want to play Battletech. Bob, maybe you can enlighten us what the pilot decks are for.
They just have like kind of like, hey, here you could be Jamie Wolf, and it has some stats for it with some extra bonus stuff you could do for the board game. But check
And
out the
what's also
Warhammer.
cool is,
In regards to the models, by the way, there's 2 ones that are standing up that look way bigger.
yep,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would be
Warhammer
the
and
next
Timby.
point. Those are the 2 special models you could buy for, I believe, $45.
Yeah.
Either 40 or 45, which are special big size mechs.
Is there a reason why you'd want a big size?
We'll put it on your desk, kind of cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
put them on your
just
desk,
to
color
have.
them,
Yeah.
decoration.
That's
You're
pretty
not gonna
cool.
use them. Well, actually, you could.
Because
use them.
they also are on the
bad.
hexes at the base, so it's like,
Yeah, I
oh
saw
look,
that.
a 700-ton Warhammer turns up.
Now,
I mean, they're
granted,
not crazy big. You might get away with using them on a hex map, but probably not.
they probably just have them on hexes because that was probably just the model they had.
Yeah.
And they just blew it up.
Yeah.
So, but that is cool though. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah.
And then you can also see a few like the keychains. There are 2 different versions.
Mhm.
And then all the small stuff. They've got patches, they've got challenge coins, they've got pins.
I want those pins because I'm a
They've
glutton
got
for pins.
shirts, they've got dice,
Wow.
and a lot of stuff.
Ooh, do they have a Clan Wolverine dice? I can't see if they do or not.
If you can find the patch, then they also have the dice.
Okay, cool. I like that.
I think they may have gone with the clans that still existed in 3048, though.
Probably so, yeah. I would actually like the Clan Wolverine patch, the Widowmaker patch, and the Clan Mongoose patch. Those are my favorite ones. Favorite, like, out of the clans.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
yeah,
they're all
and then
dead, though.
lastly,
So.
Mastery of Canopus.
Well, they don't have it.
Yes.
They don't have it, please. They're a major power. Anyways.
Yeah. And then the last part you can get as part of Wave 1 are a bunch of books. As far as I can tell, all of these are not. Source books you could already buy from the Catalyst Games store, but these are hardcover versions, which are probably really fancy, but realistically, you really don't need them. And I think as a early backer, at least, you should get most of these as a digital version anyway.
Oh, okay.
One of them there, the beginner box, is also like it's actually a box set. The beginner box.
Yeah, you could buy the box set as part of the Kickstarter.
Yeah, this is
And
the,
speaking of box set, Bob, go ahead.
the
Yep.
normal
Yeah,
box.
Bob got that.
This is the advanced box that you see right below the beginner box. That's the one you also get too. It has 8 mechs. It's pretty cool. You know, it's pretty nice actually.
I have to say, they did very good photos because you know, when Bob is showing it around, it's like it's super shiny. They managed very well to make them not just glisten.
Well, they open it up. That's why. You know, there's no plastic on it.
It's
So,
got cling film on it.
I'm surprised that Bob hasn't opened it.
I know.
yet.
Believe me, I'm waiting to make a video of opening that thing, and I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
I know. Believe me, I want to rip into it pretty soon.
Delay due to boop.
Yeah, delay due to beep work. Ooh, they got a clan
also
Wolverine. Yeah. Very good.
There are 2 more small things here. This paper box is a Fortress class dropship.
Fortress class. It's pretty cool.
Yep. Bob, can you hold it a bit further away from the camera? The white focus was too much.
There you go.
There you go.
Sorry.
That's a Fortress class dropship. You're getting something very similar in the Kickstarter, I think, out of resin rather than plastic, and a bit more detailed.
Yeah.
So really cool Fortress model. I personally didn't get it, but it looks really good. And you're also getting some leather dice bags. Yay!
Yay.
I mean, cool.
Yeah, yay, bags. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's how it could look if you
Now-
paint it.
Yeah, it's map
Yeah,
scale.
I was gonna say because I'm guessing those are stencils or decals that you could buy from Merrick there.
Yeah, actually, you could get them online. I have the Canopus ones, and I basically buy them online for I think $6. On like eBay, and there's a whole mess of them. You just kind of put them on, do that kind of
That's
thing.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when in doubt, you can just find a picture and find some third-party shop to print you some stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably the route I would go, because there's no way in hell I'm painting something like this.
No, no.
Yeah, and that's a table in its full glory. So
It's
assuming
on
you bought everything
pallets.
from wave 1, you're gonna get a big box.
Whose house is
Yeah.
that? That's beautiful. What's that house?
It's probably their office.
I think that's the Catalyst office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah,
So-
and they're getting along. Yeah, it's good that they're actually doing phases. It's not trying to do everything in one go. As I said, though, at least with the initial Kickstarter, they are doing so much little bits and pieces. It must be a nightmare to organize all these different things.
Yes, it's gonna be really interesting to see once they ship out the big boxes if everyone gets at least mostly what they ordered, or if it's going to be a complete mess. Because that's not something Catalyst can control. The shipping is handled by one of their partner companies. So we have, I mean, you could probably research them, but from a quick look, we have no intel whether it's going to be good or
Yeah.
bad.
Now, Ian or Bob, you probably don't know or not, but those little salvage boxes do they plan on just selling those like in retail stores?
No.
I don't think so. Yeah.
No, because these are individual mechs, and as far as I'm aware, the salvage box says which mech is in, and they specifically said they're never going to sell individual mechs because it's just not financially worth it.
Okay, makes
See,
sense.
that's the
So
problem. Go on.
Hmm.
Well, I was gonna say that's a problem when you're actually buying mechs when you create say your certain lance. I don't have to purchase the starter or the box there, the command star. Basically, I don't want to have to do that. I don't have to do that kind of stuff. If they make it so it's so you can purchase them individually, it'd be nice. But there's gonna be a huge third market, huge third market on this stuff, because no one's gonna I know when I wanted to create my lance or my company. Yeah. See, you got it right here.
shiny.
Yeah.
Where's this shipping from?
Don't know
It's US,
actually.
never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But there's a huge third
I got
market for this.
distracted by fancy figures.
Yeah, you have to buy them individually, and some people do 3D print them, which you shouldn't do, and then sell them. But I mean, to purchase these, I think I spent about $100 for my company just to get the stuff I wanted to, and those are the stickers that I was talking about too.
Yeah, so like the $14 there.
Yeah, the 14, but they have like a bunch more though. But yeah, there's going to be a huge third market to go purchase your stuff on eBay once it does come out, because they're gonna open up the boxes, sell them for like $10 a piece when it costs $30 for the box itself. So they'll make a $20 profit plus whatever shipping is too. So that's what's going to happen. So just so you guys know, you will be able to get the mechs. As far as, and plus also you go to Ironwind Metals. You know, Ironwind like Metals has umpteen crapload of like different types of mechs and vehicles and infantry and, you know, aerospace fighters and everything else. You get that as well. Go to the left here. Yeah, go to the left, and it if I can find it, if I can see it. I can't see your screen. Yeah, there you go. You can buy those like individually if you want to. You can buy infantry, you can buy bases, you can buy whole mess of go to online exclusives on the left hand side. There you go. And then whatever you want to buy, jump ships, small craft, space station, battle troops, anything, you know. So that's a cool thing that you'll be able to do. Yeah, drop pods. You can buy a whole bunch of things. So what the hell is that? I never seen that before.
Tripod mechs. They are very super heavy mechs.
Yeah, there's like a Dark Age thing.
Okay.
Like later on in the
never mind.
series.
I actually don't think the Aries is Dark Age, but as far as I'm aware, it's a 150-ton super heavy mech.
Jesus. Yeah, that's crazy.
There's a small number of these designs that are absolutely impractical and terrible in tabletop, but they look cool.
Well, just
they do.
Concentrate one leg, and that's it. That's what they do. Kill it. I mean, they're done. But yeah, you can buy a bunch of...
Yes, also.
Well, yeah. You buy lambs, you can buy a whole bunch of different things that are out there through Ironwind, like Metals as well, Word of Blake, mechs, clan mechs, whatever you want. So, you know, it's going to create a market, and just watch out for people like take advantage of it, though, too. I wouldn't spend $10 for a plastic bottle, because they're just opening up the packs and they're selling it for $10 a piece, and then shipping will be another $2 to $3. So try not to buy anything over $10. That's probably the practical thing to go with.
Mm-hmm. So like personally, if I look at the US market for Battletech, I'm mostly into the really old figurines, and for those I'm willing to spend $5 on plastic and up to $10 on metal, which is not cheap, but in my personal opinion, an acceptable price. For those new models, since they're going to be readily available, don't overspend.
Yeah.
Like I would say, if you can get them for $3, shipped in.
They're not gonna sell for $3. No. Basically, like I'm thinking 10 with shipping, and then the metal models, the older ones, like I've been spending about $12 to $15 for them, just for the ones I want, and they're hard to find too.
People are gonna try to make a profit off them, obviously. But I'm just saying, don't buy them while it release. At least wait a bit for people to kind of adjust their opinion, to kind of see how the prices are going to pan out, because we don't know. It's gonna be a giant surplus of figurines in the third market, so prices could go way down, or prices could go way up because demand is high. We can't really figure this out in advance. So just wait a few months or weeks, however long you're willing to wait, and then commit.
Yeah, true.
And also, I'm fairly certain there are going to be a lot of not just straight up selling and buying markets, but also exchanging. Especially given how many packs there are. So if you bought something from the Kickstarter and you just want to change one of your mechs to another one from another pack, you can probably make a no money involved exchange with someone.
Yeah, true.
If you're, there's a dedicated fan base, and they're willing to put in a lot of time and effort to ensure that they get what they want. And I think just that's not necessarily their core market. They're selling these big box sets for those who are sort of getting into the game or just want a quick, easy lance to get in one go, and that's what they're going for, because they can't compete with the more dedicated fans. And even if they even at the most cheapest level, if you're really dedicated to the game, you can just get a piece of paper and write Timberwolf on it, and you can still play the game.
And that's nowhere near as fun, but yes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, just use any coin you've got lying around, or use a piece of paper. I mean, the box set, the new ones, all feature cardboard mechs.
Yeah.
Which
they have those,
honestly, I'm very meh about. But it is the most budget option to play.
That's what we used to use back in the day.
For Battletech.
We used to use those back in the day. Like when Battle Droids came out, we had little paper ones. You kind of fold over. What?
Those were the paper ages.
Yeah.
We're in the plastic age right now.
Oh,
so
okay.
Please.
That's right. Right.
We're in like the whole 3D printer age at this point. We can
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
FYI, do not buy 3D printed plastics.
Yeah.
That one is definitely illegal, both to buy and to sell. And please try and buy original figures. Even if you buy them on the used market, it's still better than getting someone else to profit off something they don't own.
Sorry. Exactly. There's a bunch of sellers on eBay that actually do that. They say pick your lance and whatever mechs you want to have, they'll go 3D print them, and that's illegal. And don't do it, dude, because that hurts Catalyst Game Labs, and it hurts, like buy from the used market, like if you guys can.
Yeah, in the future, I'm very much hoping that Catalyst is going to be able to figure out some kind of licensing model to allow this kind of stuff, because I personally think 3D printing miniatures locally is a really good alternative to just shipping them all over the globe. But currently, Catalyst doesn't have anything like this, so anything sold 3D printed is definitely illegal.
Yeah.
You can print them for personal use if you don't tell anyone, but you definitely aren't allowed to buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So next month, right?
Yep.
Fingers
Hopefully
crossed.
so, yeah, the stuff will be arriving next month, the first wave. Second wave, I think that's far off in the distance.
Yeah. Second wave, we're still seeing even design sketches, so the models aren't ready yet, and I wouldn't put my hopes up that it's early next year. I'm gonna think it's gonna take at least till next Christmas.
Because of the beep.
Yeah.
Because of the beep.
Well, it's also one step at a
Partially.
time. Make sure phase 1 is done properly, and
Yeah.
then go
True,
on to phase
true.
2.
I have a slight feeling that wave 1 is going to be a lot of work once it just shipped down.
True.
Just a hint, just a hunch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
Okay,
go ahead.
more or
Matt.
less does it for Battletech, I think, isn't it?
I think that's pretty much it. There really was nothing huge on Mechwarrior Online. Mechwarrior 5 was kind of like on pause for a little bit.
Yeah.
So at that point, what have you guys been doing since then?
I mean, to carry on from Battletech at least, I have actually finally picked up Mechwarrior 5. I've been playing it on the Xbox Game Pass, which I got a three-month trial of.
Cool.
And I've at least with all our prior podcasts, I was giving all my commentary on MechWarrior 5, and I've only really played it at MechCon or seen other people play it. So it's nice actually to get my hands onto it for finally after all this time, and I don't even have to pay for it, and just try out the whole experience. To try and start with the positives, because that'll be the quick part. The music, I said the music wasn't so good, but I actually quite, when playing it, I think it was actually quite a good accompaniment. My impressions of the music went up when I was actually able to just, in my own time, sit down, play the game, and only listen to the sounds of gunfire and the music in the background and whatnot, because it was really noisy at the con, and it's really, when you're watching a stream, there's always someone trying to chat with the chat, and so you just don't get to hear how the ambient music works. I actually really like the ambient music. It's somewhat on the par with how well it's implemented in Mechwarrior Online, though there are still, as I've mentioned before, Mechwarrior Online has really nailed the startup music and the mission, you have won or lost music. And Mechwarrior 5 just is missing, a lot of that audio polish that is seen in Mechwarrior Online. The other positive was it was okay when you figure out the rhythm of the mechanics and just go to planet, click mission, go down to the planet. Just you can build up quite a rhythm, and so I did get a little lost in the game after a while. You can sort of get into the zone, but there are the fundamental issues I've talked about before in regards to the steady climb, the managing the spreadsheets, etc. But there were two prominent issues I ran into that really hurt this game in terms of just getting into a groove. And the first was squad commands. When I'm watching other players, most of them did not make heavy use of squad commands, but I wanted to use squad commands extensively to optimize my play experience, because I'm the kind of pilot who can torso twist, engage effectively with the enemy, and direct a lance at the same time. I mean, in Mechwarrior Online, I am a shot caller already. I direct 12 players. And I make extensive use of the squad commands, and they work quite well, honestly. I mean, they're fairly rudimentary. Just focus on this target, move here, follow me, cancel orders, etc. But you can still get rather tactile with them, with moving your squad to a position rather than them running off and engaging enemies separately, and telling them to focus fire. And if one of them gets too damaged, you tell that individual pilot to move to a spot slightly further back, etc., etc. I loved using the squad commands in cahoots with the other mechanics, and it meant that my gameplay was actually very optimized. All my mechs were only ever taking armor damage, rather than what I saw online with people taking losing lots of components all the time.
Limbs,
For
yeah.
me, I've lost one medium laser over like 10, 20 hours of play. And that was in a locust, because it's a locust and it got hit in the back once. So yeah, the squad commands aren't too bad, and I really quite enjoy using them. The problem is the game bugs out quite often. Like, I've had it 4 or 5 times. The commands will just stop functioning. That F's 1 to 4, well, F's and 1 to 5 just do not work whatsoever, and this can reduce my effectiveness in battle or outright ruin a mission. Because if I tell my squad to stand in a spot, right in front of one of the objectives, and there's 2 more on the map, and I can't order them anymore, I alone have to run off and do all the other objectives, because I can't order them anymore. So squad commands are good, but that was a huge issue to my game, because just sometimes the entire missions would be I'd have to restart, which isn't too bad, but it's really annoying when it happens. And that sometimes it's just like we do some really tough engagements, and my mech is beaten up to hell, and I want to send the other mechs forward, but I can't, because the squad commands are broken. And the game's been out for many months, and this problem has not been addressed. And whilst I don't necessarily think many people make heavy use of the squad commands, it's something that you should be able to bug test just by spamming the buttons and at some point noticing the buttons stop working. The other huge flow stopper that I couldn't really talk about before, and I'm not sure what's going on, and I'm wondering whether you guys know anything about this, but just the weapons on the mech, like using the mouse buttons, even though the weapon is ready to fire, it wouldn't work. Like, an AC2 is absolutely a pain to use in Mechwarrior 5 for me, because I can spam the left mouse button, bang, 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 I'm trying to shoot as fast as possible, and sometimes it will just stop. It will the game, just like with squad commands. For some reason, there's too many commands being put in at once. I don't know. I'm torso twisting. I'm commanding my companions. I'm firing 4 weapon groups at once, and for some reason, it thinks I'm using too many buttons. But
I don't know.
The buttons just the weapons will not fire. But the number keys right above WADs do work. So I have to build up this really awkward rhythm where I'm ordering my squad around with the F keys. I'm using the mouse to fire and aim and everything. I'm moving around, and sometimes the weapons stop working. So I then have to go, oh, it should be cooled down now, and I have to click the correct number key above. And that really hurts the flow of the game, because the game it can be fairly fun. Just what was it called? A shooting gallery. Just thrown into a planet,
Yeah.
see target, shoot target, see target, shoot target. But that flow is being ruined because I can't even shoot target. Your game is only see target, shoot target, and I can't even shoot.
Interesting. I've never had that issue.
It's probably a
Yeah.
bug, like someplace in it though. Yeah, I'm not really
I
sure.
mean, Bob, I would hope that it's a bug and not an intended feature.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, definitely.
You only have 1 million clicks for your mission. After that, and I have 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not know how I did it because it's all default settings right now. At least when I haven't fiddled with the settings.
Hmm.
The closest I've done to fiddling with the settings was I changed weapon groups. So the mouse has side buttons. Instead of them being 3 and 4, I like them as 5 and 6. Just because when I look at the bottom right, mouse 1 and 2 are on the left side, and then my side buttons are on the right side. And it just makes it much clearer for me at a glance to see instantly how to do it. And that's how I've run it in MWO as well. So I'm pretty used to this setup. And all it is just remapping it to 5 and 6. And my problem with the AC is I'm that's to mouse button 1. That's to 1. I haven't even remapped that. So
Yeah.
I have no idea what's causing the bug, but it has fundamentally ruined the flow of the game for me because I have this every mission.
Hmm.
And it's all about quickly shooting the targets. And this is compounded on with the bad sound design where in MWO you fire the medium laser and when it recharges it kind of makes a whoop 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 noise. And once it's ended whooping, you could shoot again. In this though, it's wow. And is it reloaded yet? I don't know. And the different medium lasers have different cooldowns. So, that's great. So yeah, I didn't want to go through all the same, but these are just unique to my new experiences playing Mechwarrior 5. Um, I I have only played like 10, 20 hours or so, and I've already up to 40 billion, and I have like a lance of 2 mediums, 2 lights. I'm still early game, uh, and I can't be bothered continuing playing just because
Hmm.
it's
No,
really
no
hard to
problem.
acquire mechs. A lot of stock mechs are really meh. The abilities to change them is really meh, and it's just sort of like I got into the zone of doing missions, building up C-bills, building up a huge inventory of medium lasers because there isn't that many options early game. There's not that many large lasers or PPCs to find on the battlefield, and I built up a huge inventory. I have skilled pilots, but I go to a new industrial sector and it's like, oh hey, it's all the same crap that I already own lots of. I have millions of seatbelts. I have all the equipment, hordes of it already. I've optimized my play so much that I have done the early game so well that I don't know. I just need to wait 2 years button. And it's just sort of as well the core experience, and I said this with the everyone starts with the Centurion and everyone will pilot the Centurion, and the Centurion is pretty much the best mech early game you're going to get. Just what am I looking forward to after the Centurion? The 55 tonners don't have so much pod space. The 60 tonners have huge engines. The Dragon and Quick Draw, they're not really worth it either. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to an Orion where I turn my AC-10 2 medium laser and some LRM mech into an AC-10 2 medium laser and an LRM 20 mech and an SRM-4. But that's going to be like another 10, 20 hours away. And all that time, I'm still doing the very base experience. It's just, I sat down, I was like, right, good. I reached the 40 million mark.
Now what?
Now what do I
Now
do?
what? I
Yeah.
could go around to all the stores and look for enforcers and centurions because those are good mechs, relatively speaking. But it's just not. I've optimized myself out of the experience in a way, just because the game is so limited in what it gives you. I don't actually feel any stress or strain to go further. It's just like, all right,
Yep.
I'm already a millionaire. What now?
I'm absolutely with you. And the bad thing, even if you just wait around for 2 years and do the campaign missions, eventually you're gonna unlock the assault mech industrial hubs, and you just buy 4 assault mechs with your 40 million because
Yeah.
they're so cheap.
Yeah, I just want to buy a bigger mech. I just want to buy the mechs I want, but every store only stocks, like the industrial hubs, they just stock. Oh look, it's got an assassin, a locust, a Jenna, and another quick draw. Well, I can't be bothered with that.
Couldn't you just fly over into Kurita space and find some assault mechs in their hubs? Or are those industrial
I
hubs
don't
locked?
I don't know honestly how the systems all work because the game doesn't tell you how good the
Yeah.
different industrial hubs are.
I'm fairly certain if you fly into Kurita space, you can find industrial assault mechs even in the early game. So
Hmm.
yeah,
The
At that point, you could fly over there, just collect whatever 4 mechs you want, and be done with it.
It's also kind of sad that like for me, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go. It says there's some rare weapons. I'm gonna pick up the rare weapons. Let's see what they are. Ooh, a
Machine gun
streak,
and
Yeah.
SRM2.
Yeah.
a streak 2 launcher and an AMS. My mechs can't even take AMS.
Yeah. It
I mean,
definitely
I had
has
so
the
many millions. I bought it anyway. Yeah, sorry, Bob.
I was just gonna say, like, it definitely has the power creep that Battletech has from the HBS. It's like once you get the assault mechs, you're pretty much done as far as getting mechs. You dump all the light mechs, dump all the medium mechs, maybe keep a couple of heavies. But what HBS did though was do the mini campaigns, so you're only available to have certain tonnage. So you take the lighter mechs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Keep a couple there.
Actually, that was another thing that really turned me off of the game, because I could get 55 tonners, even though they're not really that optimal. But they take more tonnage, and it's suboptimal to really pursue them. So yeah, in the end,
Yeah.
it was just like if that restriction means I can run off and get an assault mech, but then that assault mech has to be stuck with just a couple of lights to assist them, and it's going to be all on me running an assault mech with weapons that can't always fire, with pilots who sometimes fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Biter there. I dislike the weight limitation.
Yeah, if there wasn't a weight limitation, I would in a drop of the hat, I would buy that quick draw. I would buy those 55 tonners. Because like, okay, the Griffin is a PPC and like an LRM-10. It's a very heavy panther, heavy hot panther, and it's I would take it into battle if there wasn't a damage limit. I might as well just take a panther. In fact, I should just take 2 panthers. Why not? So
Okay,
yeah,
so, yeah.
yeah.
Mechwarrior 5, not much changed since Loud.
It's just I finally got
Except for the
to.
bugs, because the Xbox Game Pass did introduce a bunch of new bugs, as far as I've heard.
Yeah, I that might very well be it.
Then he found all the
who knows?
bugs.
And do you notice if there's a difference between the Xbox One and the PC version? As far as gameplay or how it looks or like whatever, basically? I'm just curious.
It looks exactly the same to me.
Well, I don't know how
It-
Xbox Pass works, so like I don't have an Xbox.
You just
it's
launch. It's a launcher. You download it.
Yeah.
It's just like a Steam or any other of those. ones.
Okay.
Oh, so it's not on
basic-
console
It's
then.
basically it's a different version of the game, because they basically took their game at some point, made a copy of it, and that's the copy you get on the Game Pass.
Okay.
So it's technically potentially different in some details and versions, but as far as I'm aware, they're not specifically locking out any features anymore, since
Okay.
they recently re-enabled the modding support for the Game
Yeah.
Pass version.
Okay. I just didn't know.
So
Like,
at this point, there
Yeah.
shouldn't be, except for some weird niche issues, there shouldn't really be a reason to buy the Epic version if you have Game Pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, if you do like the Xbox, the Game Pass bundle for the new Xbox console is a really good deal.
How much is it?
All Xbox Game Pass is a really good deal.
This is completely off topic, but
that's
the
cool.
new
That's
Xbox
fine.
console has a Game Pass version. That's I believe $25 for the 25
For how
bucks a
long?
month for 2 years, and you get the, I think, $400 value Xbox. I completely lost it with the naming scheme, but the one without the Blu-ray disc reader.
Yeah.
And you also get Xbox Game Pass for those 2 years, and you get EA Play for those 2 years. So it's a crazy good value if you actually want that console.
Well, no, that's if you could get an Xbox, the new one, right?
Yeah, if you want the new Xbox,
okay.
then that is a crazy good value to get both the hardware and all of those subscriptions for 2 years at a really good price.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was watching.
It's just sadly, I really don't care about the Xbox console, because most of those games you can play on PC now. Halo was kind of the only franchise that I would have considered getting an Xbox for, and now we have Halo Reach and all the things on PC.
The newest
Yeah.
Halo's coming out on PC as well, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
So
and that looks
Yeah.
really good. Where I mean, I have not played a Halo probably since like Halo 2, and
Did you just say Halo Infinite looks good?
I think it looks good. I mean, like I saw the trailer and like I thought it looked
Kick
good.
him out of the car.
What? What do you think looks horrible?
did
for
you
it?
see the internet reaction? I'm curious.
No, I did not.
Um,
I have not been on the internet as sorts for the past like 2 months. So
What I
fill me
most
in.
remember is just everyone sharing the brute face meme. I was just trying to
Oh, I didn't see that.
the image of that because it's an image from the thing. I think a lot of people. I think it does look kind of impressive.
Mm.
But it also, when you actually sit down and look at the actual enemy models and the texture and stuff in it, it is rather simplistic.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
It
would
like these
say
older
it-
Halo games look better than
It's got
Halo.
a really high resolution, but
Mhm.
the texture and model quality is very much subpar for a 2020 AAA game.
Could
I
it
never.
maybe just been like, it's like, a video they recorded from still development, or just like the final look of it?
That is actually, it is obviously a snapshot from a certain point in development, but it is
Yeah,
fairly recent
exactly.
because after the backlash about the visuals and such, um, Halo Infinite was actually delayed and such, and there was an expose done by some journalists and
Mm.
such because people were saying, "How the hell is this game going to come out in just a few months' time? It looks half baked." Um, and it's what we've heard. I think it's been a while since I heard the news, but what we've heard was that Xbox, the Microsoft has a community where they typically just hire on a lot of temps, and the people in charge of the operation are only really interested in pleasing the higher up executives. So there's nobody really there with any passion because the contract workers are there for a month or two, and they are just put into a content grinder and chucked out when they get too tired. And the people
Yeah.
in charge don't even care about the quality of the product. And that's
Yeah.
been a huge problem with the Microsoft products across the board.
That's been a huge issue with the gaming industry as a whole. I've heard so
Mhm.
many stories from a lot of the big studios that just put out those 6-month contracts and just chew those people out.
Yeah.
And they're paid terrible. Crunch is an insane thing in the gaming industry. And yeah, it's got pretty bad. And
It's a giant meat
Yeah.
grinder, just
yeah,
for
it's a meat
production.
grinder.
Yeah.
The thing with other
And
studios is at least they will have, if you have someone designing the game engine, you keep that person on for, you try and hold on to your
Best
engine
people.
designers for much longer.
yeah,
With
like at least to
Microsoft,
keep
though,
them.
with Halo Infinite, it's a game designed by people who are only there for 2 months. And just another
Ew.
person suddenly turns up, make the game engine. All right, you got 2 months. Right,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Which, by the way, I did Google the brute face. My God, that is bad.
I gotta
Yeah.
do this now.
that is not good. It's
Yeah.
Craig the Halo brute.
Yes.
Brute face meme, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
We'll
god.
just we'll just search for Craig the brute. That is pretty bad for a like today's
That's a
age
2020
console.
game?
That is pretty
Mhm.
bad. That is not good.
Ouch.
You see that face for a split second when he smashes him and breaks the armor, but that is because that's the base model when
Yeah.
you get to freeze it.
That's funny.
Damn. Well, yeah.
And by the maybe the PlayStation games are going to cost $80 as
70, I
release
thought.
titles. So
I thought it was 70.
I'm not
70.
surprised.
Some of them 80. The Call of Duty is going to cost 80, and if Call of Duty costs 80, then most of the AAA games are going to cost 80.
Actually, what's
With
what's
Call of
interesting?
Duty, wasn't it like 60? Wasn't there the controversy? $60 for the initial game, but 20 to have the complete experience or something.
Probably.
I forget because they're trying to sneak in $80.
For like DLC, like add-on stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I misremember, but anyway, since PlayStation game prices are up, is Halo Infinite also going to cost more than $60?
So Halo Infinite is a funny case in terms of pricing because
Mhm.
the online part is free to play, and you're only paying for the single player experience, as far as I'm aware. I'm not even sure. Will it be on Game Pass? It probably will, which might mean, for me, if it comes out in 3 months, I have it for free. Ho, ho, ho.
If you look at it,
Oh,
though,
no, it
like
isn't. It's been delayed. Die.
Yeah.
if you look at it, the Atari games when they first came out, they were actually $190, according to what our prices are now. So,
inflation.
yeah, back then, $70. I mean, that would have been like $10 or something like that. And so basically, it's just interesting how the cost and the inflation of money is now it's $70, but our economy basically is so bad that basically $70 is bad compared to what it was back then for 180 type thing compared to what the cost is now.
Mm.
You know,
It's a funny question, just at least in my head, just that with most, at least if you're buying a AAA game, you're buying the new Call of Duty. There's the price to get through the door, and then there's the 3 or 4 big DLCs that come out, and you have to really buy them to keep up with all your friends. And there's the horrific loot box system inside that
Yeah.
asks for way more money than just any $60 or $80 initial price tag. In fact, I'm thinking that's probably the reasoning behind obviously things like the Xbox Game Pass. They could just offer entire AAA games for free and say it doesn't matter. The majority of the money is not made with the box price anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well-
as well with modern gaming experiences, like, I think a lot of us would be able to relate with this, just that you pick up one game and you just play it for months on end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with that old Atari game back in the day, you could get a lot out of it, but it's still, only so much game. But
Yeah.
nowadays, if we talk about like, we should bring up something like No Man's Sky. I think.
Well, I was
Chris,
gonna go into that. Yeah.
Yes. You could just pick that up and play that for
Ever.
ages.
Yeah.
And at that point, oh no, I had the initial box price, but it's just so much experience, and you don't need to pick up that many big box games anymore. Or
Yeah,
at least you really shouldn't bother.
The cost at launch for the Atari was $200, and compared to what it is now, it's $853, and the average cost for the game is about $40, which is $170. But that's not like if you actually had the like a television, it was $300. It was $229, and the cost today would be $1,068 for a television.
Damn, television.
Yeah.
That's freaking
Shit.
crazy, man. Or let's say the Sega Genesis. The cost was $189 when it came out in 1989. The cost today is $396. That's kind of weird, but
Yeah, that's actually not. Considering that's not too bad.
yeah, it's not too bad. But like the prices, basically like we always complain about the prices. It's like, well, back then, man, that was a lot of money, man.
So things really have not changed. They
Yeah.
just kind of just kept on with the scale. Yeah.
Yeah,
There was
I
a
think
nice sweet spot though, where just at least when I started, it's the time of PlayStation 2 with the Xbox and stuff. It's reasonably accessible to most people, and each game is what $40-$50 or whatever it is in United States. That it didn't feel too bad actually buying each little game, and the game didn't ask you to play for 3 months. It was a solid experience for a few weeks or sometimes longer. But the gaming market has radically changed nowadays, which makes it very difficult to compare, in my opinion. That's just the thing.
Well, the used market as well too. GameStop is pretty much going to go out of business, and so they use the physical copies of the games, and now everything's online. Everything's basically being used through downloads and everything. And so they're basically everyone's losing money, like especially the third market as far as buying used games. And so nowadays everyone's waiting for sales. Like No Man's Sky, I just picked up for $29.99. Good game, and I'm gonna have millions of hours playing that thing.
Yeah, which honestly, can we finally segue? Because I've been
Okay,
wanting to gosh on this game for fucking months. God damn it.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I guess from what I've been doing is that, surprise, surprise, I've been playing No Man's Sky, and shocker of all shocks, and so that's pretty much what I've been doing for like the past like month and a half now. And Bob, and then you popped on. What was it? Just like 2 days ago? You said
Last
I
night.
think?
Last
night.
Yeah.
So what was your reaction to your like first intro to this game? Because you came in during a massive update.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
8 hours in, okay, basically so far, since I played like last night, and it's cool. I do like the system and how it works. I think though that it needs some type of better tutorial about how to play and what's what and how to do it. But
you're still on the first planet,
yeah,
right?
I'm still on the first planet.
Yeah.
So like I haven't even, everyone tells me like after 10 hours, we get off the planet to a space station, whatever, you start exploring stuff. That's when the game gets good. So that's what I'm waiting for, like right now. And I'm just exploring, do my thing, do my inventory, and figuring out how to do things. And that's what I'm doing now. But I have to say though, I mean, from initial launch, from what the horrific, dumb, stupid launch they did, just like 76. Basically, it's good from what I can tell now. Basically, like I'm having fun just building things. It's just a chill game. It's a chill.
I mean, honestly, so I'm about, I want to say like 100 hours into the game so far.
Damn.
And pretty much what you said is like after the first planet, like basically once you leave and you finally begin to explore everything else. So for example, I did a live stream about 2 weeks ago playing this game, and people that I've never met began to watch the stream. And not only is the game, so much more bigger than what it came out back in 2016.
Yeah.
And not only, and also to kind of add on to that is that every single expansion has been free. That basically you pay for it once. And I kind of joined this hype train of the game because mainly if you have not watched it yet, there is the one YouTuber, was it the Internet Historian? He did a really, really good like half an hour like history of the game and the actual development team. It's a really good video, and if you've not seen it, I cannot express.
I'll go
It's
link it in
called
the
The
chat.
Encooling of No Man's Sky by Internet Historian.
Yeah,
Should be really easy to find on YouTube. It's really high up.
Yeah, and the thumbnail,
The whattening of No Man's Sky?
The Encooling.
the
Yes.
goodening of No Man's Sky, and the thumbnail is Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it has yes, woman's land, I think is what the actual thumbnail is.
Yeah, I'll leave a link in the in the notes down below.
But mainly it was a very small development team, and they've updated it like every few months. And the thing is, they're doing an update when the main dev Sean, he will do a cryptic tweet. The tweet could be like a picture, it could be a like emoji, and then like a day or so later they drop like a massive patch. But so far, but the storyline, I mean, like the storyline, it's there, but basically, like you said, I've just been not even playing the storyline. I just go out there and, I found a really nice planet. It was just all islands, and I began building from Dragon Ball Z. I've been building Kame House on this thing. And so it's just a really fun, chill, relaxing game. But the people who were watching me play it last time, a person was like, "Hey, do you want 10 million space monies?" And I was like, "Sure, come find me." And then they're like, "Yeah, like, what are your planet coordinates?" So I gave him the coordinates, and all of a sudden he landed on the planet and gave me a bunch of like space monies, essentially. So it's really cool where it's now a massive multiplayer thing. They've I would say once you get to what's called the anomaly, the anomaly is this space station, space hub that basically you spawn anytime you want, and basically you fly and you land on this space station, and it becomes the hub where you meet people, because I think it holds about, I want to say like something like maybe like 15 players, give or take, and you can meet like people through the anomaly, and then every weekend they have a weekend mission, and you play as one big group.
I'm just
really
trying to
cool.
learn how to fly first, so basically like that's way beyond what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah, flight was the hardest thing to really like grasp. It was kind of awkward at first, but then it becomes like second nature, afterwards.
So speaking of flight, I know No Man's Sky has a virtual reality mode.
Yes.
And they don't have flight stick support for virtual reality. Is that still a thing?
I don't know if they have flight stick capability or not, but I know the game is in VR.
Yeah, okay. Because that's kind of the reason I'm still holding off. I really want to experience it in virtual reality, and I 100% want to use my test system.
Yeah, that'd be great. I can look into it, and I'll try to like let you know. But it's full VR support. But I guess to get into the update they had, Origins, and Sean tweeted out an orange last week.
Oh, orange.
Yeah, and that's why people were they were basically like, "Sean, what does the orange mean?" And they began like posting orange memes, and people were like, what the F is the orange? And then like a week later, it was No Man's Sky Origins, And basically what they did is that they have redone all of the landscaping from what it was. So now, and now they basically included new planets. They've taken the algorithm and mixed it up. So now they've added more variety to the animals, the plant life. There's now volcanoes you can find. There's now actual storms that have like basically lightning is now a thing. They have meteor showers at night, which is now new. They have what's the term I'm trying to think of? Not utilized, but like they've like the game that can now be played on like lower hardware better.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember.
Optimized.
Optimized, yeah, that's it.
Optimized, yeah.
Yeah, they've now optimized. I couldn't think of the term for some reason. They've now optimized it where the game is now smoother than what it was, which is nice. And they've now finally, since they've announced it from 2016, they finally put in sandworms.
And they also
So-
have mechs too.
Yeah, and well,
Yeah.
mechs were a past update. They
Yeah.
have big exosuits,
Mhm.
and you can fight the giant sentinels that come in with them and everything. So it's a giant sandbox, and so like, I've thoroughly been enjoying it, and that's kind of where I spent most of my time now. So yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been enjoying
Yeah.
that game too. It's been nice. It's been pretty fun.
Yeah, not that, but the community is super chill too.
Although, like,
The community is, of course, much better than it used to be since.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure of that. So.
yeah,
The hype people are gone. No, just the chill people remain.
Just the chill people remain, and there's still some hype. So
yeah.
I think
true.
it's the whole tone of things have radically changed because Hello Games have changed their tune, and it went from like a horror story to a success story.
Yeah.
yeah.
Every time you say Hello Games, I just have Hello Kitty in my head. It's so dumb.
Yes. Because it was, from what I understand, they were like a small indie studio. They're like, oh, we're going to make some procedural generated universe. We're going to make some very fancy trailers. And it just exploded in popularity. They get the backing of like PlayStation, Sony. And it just becomes like, it almost becomes like AAA status level of awareness and expectation. But it's still like 7 people in a little office somewhere. So, when they finally and because they go out there and say, oh wow, we got really cool ideas, people like hearing what we say, they just went around just telling everyone how amazing the game is,
and they had no PR person either.
Yeah, no PR.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
So they just had Sean going around there. He's the director? He's
like the
guy
head
in
of
charge.
And Sean's more of a tech guy than a PR guy, so he's very awkward on
He's very
camera.
awkward, and he's also like, just like, oh, do you think players will be able to see each other? Yeah, sure, that'll be a cool idea, he says. But obviously, yeah, he's like, yeah, that's a great idea. It's just it hasn't actually been implemented yet. They haven't scheduled it out or anything. And there's a deadline because now they're working with Sony. They have to release it to the certain date, and so. It's just that kind of thing that a tiny little indie studio gets a huge amount of attention and it kind of goes to their head, so to speak.
And it falls flat.
They just they sell a universe, and then it turns out that it's not bad, but it's also the grinding mechanics are really grindy and like kind of slapped into the game. It's almost like it's a tiny studio making a huge super project.
Yeah, but now we're like 4 years out. And now it's like full development because I think they hired a whole bunch of people too recently.
Well, I'm just going to say that hats off to them though that they went from the horror story. They realized, okay, so how did we mess up? We just went out and promised everything and set expectations so high that we could never fulfill them. So what we'll do is we will not say anything until we give those cryptic messages like the orange, because we already have the audience. You don't need to oversell things anymore. And they also, I think quite rightly decided in ways at least, hey, we're a tiny studio. We've made AAA bucks on this. And people really disappointed. If we make a different game, our reputation's been tarnished. So what we have to do is deliver what we promised. And so they just sat down and diligently worked on all these cool ideas that we were talking about for months before the game was released and such.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that's just it's almost an indie success story in a way now. Just that it just it's kind of that thing where I don't know, sort of somebody mucks up, they get into a fight in real life, and then they totally turn their lives around and say, from this point on, I will release the game, all these updates for free. I won't run my mouth. Everybody knows my name now, but I'm going to make good use of that name rather than abuse people's trust. And yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I also have it on Game Pass, so I could download it and play it as well.
Hey, play with us, man. It's cross-platform now too.
It's cross-platform,
Yeah.
and that's actually how I got my one friend back home to play it. Because now he plays it on PS4, and then I may have gotten my coworker last night to go ahead and get it. So people were just jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, guy.
So
I was
what
playing...
even is the multiplayer experience like? Give us a
Yeah, sure. So I mean, I can say there's two ways to play it. You can create a group with about 3 other friends because you can make a 4-person party. And you can actually so let's just say, for example, Bob wanted me to join his game. I could, I mean, maybe one time I will. Last night I wanted to, but actually I passed out at I want to say 8 at night.
Okay, yeah.
And I slept for 10 hours last night. Work's been rough. But yeah, so essentially I could join Bob's game, and if Bob wanted to bring you, Ian, and you, Biter, BS4, we could go ahead and just basically play his storyline, essentially. So also Ian's getting your video's getting choppy, but anyway, weird. But anyway, so essentially, did we lose Ian?
Nah.
Sure
he's very choppy. We're just seeing frames of him in confusion.
Technically still there.
Okay, I'm just making sure we didn't lose him.
I was preparing something to show once we're past No Man's Sky, but I feel like I kind of hung up my whole setup. So I'm just gonna sit very still, and you'll finish whatever.
Okay, that's fine. Okay,
I kind of enjoy this slideshow thing. You could change very rapidly in
Very
a short
good.
amount of time.
Raise your hands right now. Hey.
Oh, that's good. So yeah. So anyway, so basically, it would be like us 4 joining your game, Bob, and then mainly we would join you in your storyline.
Yeah.
So essentially, so it wouldn't be like you would be doing our storyline, but mainly we would help you progress in your storyline. Yeah. But the thing is, we would still be in the same shared universe, and we could still meet other people in the game by sharing planet coordinates. So essentially our group could probably meet up with other groups of 4, and mainly if we were all on Discord together, we could probably still warp to other planets because whenever I was talking to the person on the stream last time, I think he said that there was about I want to say something like 500 something galaxies, and then in that galaxy you have hundreds of systems. So you gotta imagine the scope of
the size of the world. The universe is ridiculous.
Billions of stars.
It's exactly billions and billions of everything out there. But mainly as long as you so if you were to go into your how you can do a screenshot with the so whenever you go into the in-game camera, on the bottom left it has the actual coordinates of the planet.
Oh, okay.
And then mainly as long as you can find a portal to put those in, it's this giant Stargate looking thing.
I was wondering what the hell that was.
Yeah.
So
mainly you can put in it's turtle, bird, whatever. You put all the coordinates in. But also you can also share your friend code for No Man's Sky. So if you go into things like settings, network, friend code, you can then share your friend code with anyone. And then I think at that point, your friends can find you, and then they'll just join wherever you're at, kind of thing.
You may be able to find one another, but the game was always was built from the ground up somewhat as a solitary experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have they done to possibly, make it worth even just being nearby one another? Because it's
Okay.
can you, most of the ships were solo craft.
Mhm.
Can you do multiple
There's
people in a ship?
no, they're still solo crafts. Because you have the space shuttles, you have
Raiders.
I mean, there are freighters. Yeah, I mean, you possibly could land because players can own a freighter,
Mhm.
and a freighter can hold, I believe, 6 ships. So you could land on a freighter, and meet up there and everything. But they do have on-planet exocrafts, so there's like cars and whatnot. I don't know if they have multi-seated because I haven't gotten there yet.
There's a really big one that kind of looks like
Yeah.
a tank or something. I think that might be the only co-op-y
That'd be kind of
oriented
cool.
vehicle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then of course there's the exosuits. Those are like the mechs that they got. But the other multiplayer experiences, kind of going back to the anomaly, where people fly to the anomaly, and basically in the middle of the anomaly there's a mission station, and you can take on certain quests through this like station in the middle, and then once you start like a mission, you'll see across the anomaly it will say so and so is beginning a mission. You can join them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those happen on the weekends. They have real big multiplayer missions on the weekends, and then of course
Cool.
they have like basic ones during the week.
Plus,
So,
also
yeah.
too, like I was looking, and they got like a horror thing where you can find like a derelict spaceship, and there's aliens on it. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
new. Yeah.
yeah. Go do that as
Yeah.
well. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Where basically you go to a space station, you can buy. It's basically a radio, and you fly out, and you can turn the radio on, and it scans all these frequencies, and you can like warp to the like broken down, abandoned ships.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then basically if you fly in, you can. It's kind of like a old school dungeon crawler,
yeah.
actually, because you go through like levels, and the deeper you get, the better loot you get, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a well thought out game now. I mean, I'm having a blast. I can't wait to play it.
Originally,
I
yeah,
can't
because
wait to play it again.
originally the game was, just you put into the giantest sandbox you could ever imagine,
Yeah.
and it's just you and a spaceship and a really awkward inventory system, and it says, yeah, go have fun. But
But
now
it's still
there's
much like that.
Yeah.
yeah, you can still do that, but you
Yeah.
have the base you can always return to, your home base.
Mm-hmm.
You have the shared hub, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're
Yeah.
mentioning these anomalies for these group activities now, so that it doesn't feel the issue with the game originally was that it's a huge sandbox, but it's kind of lifeless because it's all just filled with sand. There's
Yeah.
no landmarks or rallying points, so it was just sort of, oh hey, randomly I came across a stick. Why? Because sticks are randomly scattered across the universe.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
now there's like everything.
yeah.
Go
Like,
ahead.
go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so now in the sticks you can find volcanoes, and you can find giant crab people and stuff like that, you know. But yeah,
Um,
it's really gotten wild.
How is the improvements to things like space combat and stuff? Their initial promises, of course, were like, oh, you can come across whole, nations fighting one another and stuff. You could join one side and stuff.
Ah, that's still, I would say, still not really there. To
Yeah.
be honest, I mean, the most you might encounter is that, so if you get so you can get so you can go into the galaxy map, and you can buy what's called a conflict scanner and see which systems are under conflict.
Mhm.
So mainly you can then warp to a conflict zone, and kind of like what Bob said earlier, is that you will see freighters warp into systems. And sometimes those freighters will then be under attack, and you can protect the freighters, and then the captain of the freighter will then like offer you his ship in a sense.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool.
Take my ship, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. And then mainly yada yada yada, you then have a freighter. But I wouldn't say there's like choosing factions. Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
not really that. But
Because they wanted to talk about big space battles, and yeah, it's still,
Yeah.
there's there are some battles you can come across just where there's two big spaceships sitting across from one another, but they're pretty.
Yeah, they're very pretty, but I mean, but like, who knows? Maybe that'll be another random tweet that we'll see a emoji months from now, and it's like,
Be
what
a,
is this?
a
It's
ship.
just a swarm of bees, and then
That'd
later you find out. Yeah.
That'd be very Sean of him, just a swarm of bees, you know.
Yeah, the game is nice. I'm highly impressed. And for $30 I pay for it, I'm gonna have. I mean, a lot better going to a bar and spending $30 in 10 minutes than $30 for like 300 hours or something, or even more.
I mean, so far I'm about 100 hours in. I've only scratched the surface. I mean, I've maybe only gotten through, I want to say, like 1/5 of the storyline. Everything else has been meeting people online and just building bases and just exploring at that point.
Yeah. One system I think was quite rather clunky, and I think it hasn't been fixed. The language system. In the original launch, all the different alien species would have their own languages.
Yeah,
they do.
And very rarely you'll find an obelisk that will teach you one word.
Oh,
of their language.
That's probably been a little tweaked probably since that's happened. So of course they have they're called knowledge stones, and they're those like black obelisks on the planets.
Yeah.
There's plenty of those to find, and those will still teach you the one word. But now, if you go to a space station, depending
I don't want to hear it,
on depending on the system that you're at, and the alien species that basically owns the space station, you can then talk to the aliens there, and they will teach you one word. So
it's still one word at a time because they have a fairly large dictionary. So you learn the word today. You have learned potato.
I learned
next week.
I learned
you learned the.
Yes.
Now, granted, whenever you go to a space station, there might be about 20 or so aliens, and you meet one word by talking to each of them.
Yeah.
So basically,
Oh my God! You can form a full sentence.
You can form a full sentence.
You can form a full sentence much more quickly than finding random rare artifacts on planets.
But it's one of those things where, but now it does tell you like how many words you've learned to their language though. So you can actually see like how far you've gotten. Bob has 4.
I have 4.
Probably. So what species was the one that mainly?
It was Vlax, or starts with V.
Bob, do you remember what Viking. 4 words you have learned? Just do you know any of them?
I think help, distress, and one. I forgot what it was actually.
Yeah, so it
must be a very anxious species.
Yeah,
the distress help.
Well, actually, so you've met the Viking. It's like it's basically like it's kind of like VY_KEN or something like that.
Viking or something like that.
Viking, and they're the like warrior species. So they're very
great.
So imagine like Klingons. They're those. They're the warrior ones.
Is Bob being prepped on his planet to ask the Vikings for help?
Yeah. So my first it was the Korvax, and the Korvax are these very robotic. They don't have physical bodies. They're these like robot suits, and they like upload their knowledge and personality to a suit. And then they like, I guess, inherit like their family suits, and they can like upload their knowledge to them and everything. So they're the like sciencey people that I met.
I just don't want to know like what's going on, because like every time someone says like, you want a ship, you want like 10 million like last night, I'm like no. I want to play the game. For me, if I get stuff for free, I get bored, because then it's like I could just get that and like whatever basically. But if people start like handing me things like in the game, I'm like, I don't want it. No, please don't.
And I would say and I did it once where I got a big cash pot pool of money. And it was nice to have, but kind of like how you said, like I feel like I did a weird little cheat code that I shouldn't have gotten early in the game. So I'm just kind of I'm just blowing it. I'm just blowing the money just to get rid of it, honestly, just to kind of go back to where I was, to really experience like the growth that you can go through.
I don't mind basically like little, hey, I'll help you with build this thing or something like that, but not like, a full influx of, millions of credits. Just doesn't appeal to me like anymore.
Just go mine cobalt and then crash the market.
in my head when you said you're just trying to blow all the money of from
Buying
No
s-
Man's Sky.
Buying
I was
space
thinking of
cocaine.
no, I was thinking of like in my head the image popped of like you're sort of playing Among Us and you're just running around and there's a trail of money falling behind you. And you're just constantly blowing up money somehow.
All right, going on. That is one game we need to play. Is either Among Us or also I think if you guys was it I think Purple in my Discord said Fall Guys.
Fall Guys. Yeah, I heard about that.
Are
game.
we being trendy now? Okay, fine.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I mean, I'd be interested in Among Us. It's one of those weird games that I really don't know why people enjoy it so much, but
I have to
also
look
I
this
can't
up.
stop watching it, and I don't know.
The game's been
cool.
out
I
for
would-
like a while and then suddenly
Yeah.
it exploded.
Yeah,
Do you
it
guys know
exploded.
why it exploded?
No, I don't.
Yes, offline TV. I don't know if you're familiar. This guy's
No.
Toast, Pokimane, Lily Pichu are some of those big names you might be familiar with.
Ah.
But those guys basically started playing it on Twitch to an audience of 20, 30,000 people,
Mhm.
and it exploded from there.
Is
That
it like
makes
a 2D thing or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
Kind of, yeah.
It's basically Mafia or Werewolf, if you're familiar with either of
Those are
those.
fun games. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are
yeah.
good.
Those are really fun games. Yeah.
What's
It's basically
what's
that.
appeal to it though?
Well, do you know
Um,
Mafia? Because
You
it's
prob-
the same
yeah.
appeal, basically.
It's what? I'm sorry.
Mafia. Do you know the appeal of the Mafia game?
No, I don't actually.
It's like a Who Done
Have
It.
you ever played Werewolf, the card game?
A long time ago.
Yeah, essentially, you as a group, so mainly you each have a role, in Werewolf. Then secretly, one of the players is the werewolf, but the main goal of the game is to find out who is the werewolf. So it's like Clue of like who done it, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like that, yeah. But instead, in this game, there's like a monster, I think, or like an alien wearing a spacesuit killing the players off, something like that.
Players are certain players are designated as imposters,
Yeah.
and so their job is to go around and secretly and try and murder the other players. If, however, they have to try and be surreptitious about it because the players there's way more innocent regular players than there are imposters. And
Okay.
if you just obviously murder someone, everyone and lots of people see it, they could just call a meeting and say, we want this guy off the ship, and they'll kick you out. So
Okay.
there then becomes a huge kind of mind game where everyone is talking about where they've seen people, what people have been doing, and they're trying to figure out who the imposters are based on people's actions.
It's a game of trust, lies, betrayal, crying, screaming.
It's like a soap opera.
Yeah. Actually, it sounds fun. I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
trying it.
It can be really fun. I think byters gonna have to nerf himself a fair bit. He's way too analytical for us.
The thing with Among Us, and interestingly, though, is of course you have a very short window. Like the whole game actually takes place over a fairly short window compared to other Mafia games or the Village type games. Those ones can have like 5-10 minute debates. There's often time limits imposed and deliberately, so people don't just stick around. But those are much more long-winded, and that's where my analyticalness would come in handy, so to speak. But in Among Us, you have a minute and a half to make your case before voting happens, and then you have another minute and a half until the voting ends. So any information you have to talk about things has to be done real dirt quick, and it's really hard to necessarily know who's telling the truth or lying. It's just it's all you could tell is based on what you've seen, and even then, even if I'm trying to be analytical about it, there'll be people feeding me false information, or maybe I am an imposter and I'm misleading everyone.
Yeah.
So it's a very sociable game, and being analytical actually might make you predictable. Oh no.
Is it text-based or voice chat?
It's all takes place within a little spaceship or on a little space
No, but
base.
so what I mean though is like
For us, it would be voice-based since we're using Discord. The game itself.
Yeah.
is a text.
It's only voice. Yeah, it's voice-based in that.
that's cool. I wouldn't mind trying it. That'd be fun.
And I think getting our Discord group together would
Oh,
be
God.
stupid.
Jeez.
Yes.
Oh, it would be dumb.
It's so dumb. I would get so frustrated for. Let's do it.
Can you,
Do it. Yeah.
Could you imagine like Stray and Trent
Oh
just
god.
like fucking around. I think that'd be great. We should like maybe we should try to, because like I mean we haven't done the like Friday live stream stuff in a while, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
we,
yeah, definitely.
and we've been talking about doing other games, and like I know I'm all into No Man's Sky, but I think if we want to do like big group games, dumb stuff like that could be fun, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
since I mean Among Us is for $1, which might be something some people are
It's
not
a
willing
low
to
entry
take.
price.
$4.
Yeah, it's a low entry
Yeah.
price, but still, I mean, we could just do one of those text-based alternatives.
Oh yeah.
There
Yeah.
are so many basically clones of Among Us nowadays as browser games
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
true.
I've seen a virtual reality version of Among Us, which looked way too stupid to be
Oh,
not good.
Okay.
They have
yeah.
DLC for Among Us.
Pets, just visuals.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
cosmetics.
nothing.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't
yeah,
mind trying this.
yeah.
This
I
would be
mean,
fun.
this would be kind of fun, actually. Kind of
Yeah,
cool.
Yes.
Ian. Oh, Crisis.
then
Oh man, we're going to the Crisis now, huh?
Since we're just completely
We're-
going off the rails
We're
and
just
talking
we're just
about
going
random
into
stuff,
all kinds of stuff here.
I'm just gonna
This is the
show you
remastered
guys this
version.
to the
Yeah.
screen.
Okay.
Can it run Crisis?
And I'm just gonna say no, it definitely cannot. And I have an RTX 2070, and it definitely cannot run Crisis.
Oh my
I just
god.
I just enabled it, and I'm at 8 FPS. That is 1080p.
Good God.
Damn.
Oh yeah, it's in the corner there. Yeah.
So
Holy
I'm just
shit.
gonna go back to
Oh,
something
what-
more reasonable.
What's the story with this? That they released something, a Crisis Remastered. Like this is an actual product, right?
Yes.
And there's an
All right.
option where you could like they turn the settings up to ridiculous demands for no real reason. Is that what's those
Well,
settings? Are?
it's oh god. Okay, let's put it back to a note. The story behind Crisis came out in 2007, as far as I remember. And back then, the game went on CryEngine 2, which was way ahead of its time. I mean, it's the same engine. Mechwarrior Online went off years later.
Yep.
And oh god,
I'm trying to see what your background was there for a minute.
Yeah,
I
you're
saw that online.
you're skipping screens again.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just crashing. I'm just crashing Crisis.
I think
real quick,
Crisis is gonna boil his computer.
It's too much.
Yeah, he can't handle it.
My
Whoop.
$800 GPU can't handle it.
Yeah, because obviously the original Crisis, nowadays is quite relatively easy to run,
Yeah. Okay. So
even with
yeah.
the higher settings.
Yeah, back to the story. Crisis back then was impossible to run on like any reasonably priced hardware, and even like now, 13 years later, you still need some level of hardware to run it properly. And quite honestly, I think the original Crisis still looks really good, given how old it is. But yeah, Crytek remastered the original one. Crisis had some sequels that were honestly pretty terrible, so they remastered the original one with their newest version of CryEngine 5. It now has software-based ray tracing, so anyone can do ray tracing, not just people with those fancy NVIDIA GPUs. And this setting is basically just a meme. Can it run Crisis? It cranks everything up to absolute max. And you're gonna need one of the new NVIDIA GPUs, an 3080 or 3090 to run it at a barely acceptable 30 FPS.
God, yeah, and also that 3090, it like itself is physically massive. Like
It is.
I couldn't even
It is.
put it in my case. It's
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to fit in my case either.
Yeah, it's thick.
So yeah, I just wanted to kind of show off Crisis Remastered because that's what I've been doing the past few days, and oh my god, it looks so great.
I think Bob just died.
He died.
It's so massive, it's thick.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, yeah. Basically, FYI.
I like how the
Crisis-
computer nerds are nerding out about tech, and then Bob's just complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
It has a new connector.
Oh my god. Oh
Yeah, it's got
god.
12 pins now, right? Instead
Oh,
of 6.
God.
12 pins.
Yeah.
It takes 350 watts.
It's easily inserted.
It is.
That's what she said. Okay, I did it.
I mean, it's kind of
I
a
mean,
small pin.
I was gonna say it might not be that easy. You know, it's
It's a
tight.
pretty small pin compared to what we have. So it's kind of like it's a chunky boy, but you only need a really tiny thing to put in.
You just need
you know?
finesse. Ian, you just need finesse. That's all it is.
Make sure you
And
get
you
good
need a really
contact.
big case.
Anyway, how long have we actually been recording this?
I don't know.
About 90 minutes.
Oh god.
But okay, yeah, what I wanted to say is Quests Remastered is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed the original Quests, I heavily recommend it. It's obviously a remastered, so it's not a new game. You can still kind of see the age in some few cases, but it's only $30. You can get it for $20 on Epic with one of their recent promotions. And at $20,
Yeah,
if
that's
you
not
like
bad.
shooter, go ahead and buy it. It looks absolutely breathtaking, and it's the best shooter in existence. I am
Cool. Because I've never played it, so
Yeah,
I
never
should
played
go
it
ahead and
either.
give it a shot. Then again, I couldn't run it back then, so I never got it. So
Yeah. I mean, you won't be able to run the current one either, but I guess you can put the settings down too low.
yeah.
But yeah, it's so ridiculous. Again, I have a RTX 2070, which is I'd say it's the enthusiast grade GPU of the 2000 series from 2 years ago.
Mhm.
So it's a fairly recent and really freaking expensive GPU. And the default settings in Crisis Remastered are low. If I auto-detect my system. Low settings. And I can barely run it at 30 FPS. And it's
Jeez.
absolutely ridiculous how intense the game is.
Okay.
It looks stunning though, and I'd rather play it at a cinematic 24 FPS than crank down the settings.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. is that it?
I don't know.
I'm sure we could ramble on.
We could
for
probably
more.
keep rambling,
Um,
but because I mean, we really had nothing on our schedule besides what are we doing these days?
Yeah,
But
no,
I think
I
we,
know.
yeah, but I think if I'm going to my OBS here, I think we've been recording for almost like 2 hours here, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, we
We're
did.
getting up there. It's yeah.
Oh jeez.
There's Ian just like.
I'm showing off some of your tech.
I'm
Shut
just
up,
like
new
Ian,
tech.
that I can see my little transformer head right in the
Yeah.
window of my
Yeah.
chair, just like. All right.
Okay.
Anyway. All right. Well, I think we're gonna end it on that note. I think. I don't know when we're gonna do another podcast until we get another update. Maybe we'll try to find some more structure.
Structure.
but-
Hold on, what's this thing called? Structure. What is
Just
that?
I mean,
boring.
we
We don't
used to have
structure.
that, but anymore, I think we're throwing it out the window. So
Yeah.
anyway, but this has been episode 127 with Ian,
Bye-bye.
Bob,
Ho ho ho.
and Biter,
Mark, I do change.
and myself, Laura. So until then, we'll see you next time, everyone.
See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
On the mirrored fist.